Hello and welcome, Cosmic Quantum Travelers. I hope you're doing well amidst the craziness. Yes, it's pretty intense. The last few days have been interesting, to say the least. I myself, only since yesterday, Saturday, I've been slowly feeling better since the Blu-ray activation came in and the sphere of Amenti was returned, which is huge, amazing, big news. I wrote about this as well. It's really returning the mother's Blu-ray and staff and connects us and the crystalline core to the core of Andromeda. And that's the sister galaxy of the Milky Way. So it's like our twin. And this is where the staff of the Earth and our staff should be connected to in as well, and all the way back to source. Because before we had an axial tilt to the planet in our own inner alignment in Merkaba that was feeding into a black hole phantom system. Now, that's all been dismantled. Everything is gone. I know it feels very intense, and depending on where we're at and what we have insight to, very much decides of what reality we perceive. And it's ever more so clear now that we truly create our own reality by the way we perceive it. One example would, for example, be, do you think you are, when you're not feeling well, what is your thought? There's something wrong with you, or that your body is healing itself? Because we need to see everything has been upside down here. Everything has been in reverse. We really need to re-reverse everything. The same with sleeping and rest. When we sleep and rest, we collapse timelines, we co-create timelines, we work in the astral, we go to spiritual school and meet in the spiritual planes. We anchor the higher dimensional frequencies, especially from the day, but also at night. There's a lot being released. That's also why some of us can't sleep, or, the receiving is a lot more clear and powerful. So we're really merging with our multidimensional self when we sleep and rest and do a lot of things that we then don't need to do in real life, such as deal with lower fallen timelines than we then would need to collapse otherwise in our waking life. So a lot can be done in sleep and rest time. And especially at the beginning of the journey when we are less aware of what's going on. So again, everything is upside down here. So the way we see it is, the way we perceive reality. It turns a dire situation into a breakthrough opportunity. And it's what we make it. Our attitude to life and what happens to us, our experiences, decides what we're seeing. And it's ever more so apparent. And as I was saying as well, before, right now, it's really up to us, because we've taken back the timelines in June. We've collapsed all the phantom matrices, the moon matrix connections, the fallen system, black box system, Saturn connections. That also means all this karmic stuff can be fully resolved now through forgiveness, ultimately. And that's what's coming up. So all these karmic storylines are closing up, and that also happens obviously for us. So we are really going back to the core of our core trauma. Now, that will be related to ancient traumas from other incarnational selves as well. But even if we don't have insight into those, we will have insight in this incarnation through our childhood. So it will be connected through our childhood wounds, usually around abandonment, rejection, speaking our truth, not feeling loved, feeling separated, and all these core wounds. The core wound of the core wound is always the separation we feel from source and then from one another, and that's what we're really healing. And the oneness is ultimately truly the key to it all, because that's also the new grid system, energy current, consciousness, that is unity consciousness, Christ, God source consciousness, cosmic consciousness, for me, these words are used interchangeably. But it's really a cosmic consciousness, even beyond Christ consciousness, as I see it, that we're accessing. It's God consciousness, okay? So we're becoming at one with God's source. And if we want to feel at one with God's source, which is what ascension is all about, that's us remembering ourselves as God. We don't ask, we ask ourselves everything from ourselves, because we are the whole universe. God is not outside of us. Now, we might connect vertically because our energy system is set up that way, but ultimately your source center is again your high heart, your cosmic seed atom or permanent seed atom, and a 0 point. So this is activating right now with these activations with the sphere of Amenti, which is really the blueprint, our 12 tribe blueprint, DNA instruction sets, the promise of returning the lost souls of Tara that have been stuck in the etheric meta levels of Earth, and we are now able to fully return them. Okay, this is the completion and the fulfillment of the covenant of Palador. If some know this, I will leave some links below if you want to know more. And it's also the return of the Emerald Order, which is really the prime emanation from the Godhead, along with the Amethyst Order and the Gold Order, and then the Blue Ray is the first emanation of the Emerald Order. So this also stands for the mother energies, for the wisdom, as Blue Rays are being highly activated, yes, now since Saturday, since the activation came in. This is just beyond massive. I also know some people might not believe me or fully understand what it means. It's fully okay. I've been shown my core wound is basically goes back to the Mauryan timelines, where I tried to warn people of what was coming and what was going on, and people were just laughing at me or directing their hate at me, their fear. Yeah, so I've trained well for this, and the demons, obviously. So people who think I'm false light, I totally get it, because it's in the air and I really don't care, because again, it's just what's out there, and everybody's in a kind of paranoid state. And right now we're going right deep into the psychosis of seeing all these plots and conspiracies and narratives that we've been telling ourselves, also from the outside, obviously being fed to us, that we keep fueling and that we keep co-creating. So when I say Q, or, the Trump movement or other things really are distractions, I mean that they are distracting you from what's really ascension is about, is you. And we really have to move away now fully, because that's the only way we become one with source, is when we know nothing is outside of us. Everything is an extension of us. So we can't have any more victimizer consciousness running. So if you think some person, president, some movement is ultimately here to save you, and you're just sitting there waiting for someone to tell you what's going to happen and when, and you're like, oh, it still hasn't happened. And people saying something like, love and light can only just get you so much so far, then they don't understand what this is about. This is about taking full responsibility and accountability for your realities, taking full responsibility and accountability for them. Everything we have co-created is one, and we can't have these victimizer games and good versus evil running anymore. Now, they do exist at a lower dimensional level, and we have to deal with them, but we have to resolve them from the higher level, which is God's source level. So we have to integrate all of these viewpoints. It doesn't matter how much you hate or dislike someone, whether it's some political figure or someone closer to you, go into it and try to see yourself in them. Try to understand why the person is the way they are, because that's how we're healing all right now. Okay, it's by us standing in our truth and our power, speaking up, not taking any bullshit. We don't allow this anymore, but we forgive by truly understanding. Only hurt people hurt people. So it's okay to feel all this. I've been feeling it too. We're releasing a lot of this collective anger. And yes, we do do a lot of the collective releasing. It's ours, but it's also collective, because quite frankly, a lot of people are not at the level to deal with this consciously, and that's just a part of what we are doing. Now, this is not us playing the martyr, it's just our job. But yeah, it also sometimes sucks, especially when we get attacked for it, because we're shining our light. And it's important that we feel that, and it's important to feel that anger, okay, so we can move through it, because it's ancient. It's ancient, ancient, ancient. And all these triggers of these people, they're helping us, okay? So let it come up and out, go into the woods and scream into your pillow, punch the pillow, jump up and down, chop wood, whatever it takes, speak up. Sometimes things might get a little hairy, but ultimately try and keep the balance and don't feed the vampires, okay? Don't go for the provocation. That is the mastery now. But we also speak our truth, even if our voice shakes, because huge throat openings and healings are happening, which is, you know, once we even know what our truth is, we then learn to speak our truth in a masterful way, okay, where we don't fall anymore for the kind of triggers that other people then kind of feed on, and we keep, you know, because that's part of us having a sovereign energy field, is no longer having these energetic drains, okay? So you can have emotions, but it's just you hold them in the field and you don't let them drain. And afterwards you had a conversation, maybe an argument, just cut any connection that might still be running and seal your energy field, okay? And also when you feel anger, and it might be directed at a person, try to disidentify the anger, because ultimately all of this is a giant misunderstanding between egos, language. Every time we use it, we go straight into separation, you, me, them, us, you know. So we need to go beyond. And the way I'm seeing it, these are parts of you that you're healing by standing in your power, not playing in the old victimizer games anymore. They just are running on empty now. And as long as you stand in your truth and hold your field, let them have their meltdown or breakdown and break through. But you need to see it's part of it, okay? So don't be afraid to speak up, because we're not here to just sit there still. Divine neutrality doesn't mean we don't speak our truth. No, we're also here to correct the realities. And although all of this is a giant projection of our own shadow aspects, once we feel ourselves enough, you also need to say, you know, again, we need to speak up for what's not right. So don't let these, you know, kind of gaslighting tricks be played on you, where everything is being twisted around. You know, we've learned now enough. It's all part of it. Know it for what it is. Nip it in the bud and dissolve the vampires, because they're not being fed anymore. Okay, that's what we're going to do now. So we're taking full power back, because that is Happy Independence Day, especially for the Americans. And that's us being independent. That's us being sovereign, independent from outside influences rocking us. That doesn't mean, again, we don't feel anything, but afterwards we are, you know, pretty quickly back to our vibration, because we cannot let others influence our energy. Then we are in victim mode, because we're saying they are influencing my mood right now. Now we're all influencing each other, especially in our energy fields, if we're in the same room and things like this. When we're in busy cities and towns, so many energy fields intermingle. Okay, so we need to be aware of that, but it's not an excuse. So it's always a both end. You need to feel all that you're feeling, deal with it, and then also transcend it from the non-personalized viewpoint, who doesn't take anything personal, because that's the only way to liberation. When you understand they're all just literally doing you a favor, they're all other aspects of you, helping you to purge, you're helping them to purge. It's a big, giant collective exorcism going on, if you haven't noticed. And we transmute it through the light, and we're now radiating out the light, no longer just being the hoovers. Okay, you need to take it all. No. Just clear the field from your heart. Like holding your breath. Imagine this ball of rainbow diamond plasma light. Hold it, let it build up, build up, build up, and then with a breath out, and you just clear the whole field. Any lower negative energies, thought forms, all back to source. Okay, because again, ultimately, all of these gremlins, negative entities, come back to the negative, unacknowledged shadow aspect of the consciousness, which are negative thought forms that have taken on a life of their own. It really is like that. That's why as all this mind control is now being cleared and all these reversals in the grid, okay? Because we're now fully running source light through us, through our systems, fully reconnected into the grids, okay? And what was I saying? Can't remember now. Sorry. Totally lost it there. Now, with the Blu-ray returning, this is the cosmic mother returning. So what has come up a lot is also the distorted dark mother archetypes a lot. Altogether kind of false parent archetypes. So all the distortions really, you know, within family dynamics, and then also masculine and feminine, and what a mother and father really should be like, and not kind of what we've seen playing out. And again, this is no one's fault. Ultimately, we need to understand it's all just, if you're not soul embodied, okay, you're running on autopilot here, and you're being run by collective thought forms and patterns that are running in collective groups, okay, in different group things that build little hub, you know, also between the areas, but then also different group things, you know, they create different energetic fields and group shields within the one group shield now returned. And basically that has all been run on AI. So now with that being taken away and being dissolved, and all the mind control programming, all the technologies, now the people who have been running on this, who've been very disconnected from their soul, very fragmented, and not, you know, on a journey like us on the healing journey, they have a lot of issues right now. Everything is becoming very incoherent because it doesn't match up. The incoherent mind, the psychosis that we've gotten very much into, and basically the reversals being all the victimizer consciousness still running. So if you still have a lot of that program running, people are having a hard time. And also the narcissistic personality types who have been blaming everything on everyone else are now realizing, as the truth truly arises from within that cannot be questioned, see the truth. And it's coming from everywhere, because all that programming doesn't stick anymore whatsoever. We're running now full Trinity codes, full tri-wave codes through the grids, and all that bi-wave, bipolar, victimizer consciousness, distorted polarity programming, and also the bi-wave that run in the grids, which is connected to that, is totally being overridden, okay, with the higher consciousness and the tri-wave, the Trinity wave. So basically, hold the field. You are healing them as part of you, really. You cannot see anything anymore separate from you, whilst you still have boundaries and you know yourself from another person. Again, boundaries, discernment, standing in our mastery and how to deal with all of this, super important. But ultimately, how I see it is that you see it for what it is, but you really see it's programs running, okay? It's mind control running. It's people not in their body. It's people hurting and in fear and having all these survival mechanisms that are now falling apart. So we're just here to hold the field, okay? Don't let anyone bullshit you. Speak your truth as balanced as possible. Hold the field, you know, correct it. Keep making corrections to your own, because again, we're always speaking to ourselves here, really. We can always integrate all the advice we give to others a little bit more, and always go deeper and deeper, because ultimately this can all be resolved from within, okay? But only then when we fully step out and we understand it's really a big happening, and we all just here to, you know, clear all these distortions and anchor more of our soul self, when you then can see the true original innocence. Can you see the original innocence beyond all the masks and the programming and the conditioning and the pain and the trauma? Can you? Or do you just see an evil person? That's the question here. Because if you think of Illuminati Cabal members, for example, I've gotten to know people who've been born into these families, and they are raped from almost the word get-go and have to undergo the same abuse. they learn that's the only way how to survive very often, or you basically die. So again, only hurt people. Where does it stop? Where does it end? In our own lives, blaming our parents, their parents, the parents before them, it never ends. So it stops with us and with forgiveness. Forgiveness comes through understanding. So us integrating their viewpoints, understanding why they are the way they are, heals you, that missing part of you that you haven't integrated yet, and it helps heal them. And again, it's both ends. Okay? So you speak your truth, no bullshit, but you also see the original innocence. So you see both ends. You see the nonsense playing out, and you don't sugarcoat it anymore. Okay? But not from a place of judgment, but discernment. And then you heal by seeing them and all, and yourself and your original innocence, because it really comes back to us. Somewhere deep down, we think we're not deserving, we don't love ourselves enough, we still judge ourselves, we are still not forgiving ourselves for something we are subconsciously suppressing. And that has all got to come up and out, which it is now. So every trigger is helping you. Thank them, because it has to clear energetically as well as now consciously. It all becoming very clear of what's going on, because we're all being shown back to where it began to heal it, because that's part of the oneness. And then they're no more enemies, they're just teachers. Okay, and that's how everything shifts, because we're no longer projecting demons onto the screen of the hologram. Very important. So instead of seeing the devil, see really hurt people, have compassion. I don't really like the word pity, but really, okay? And you can also feel your anger. It's very important, because you need to purge it, okay? It's a cosmic wrath that has been there for billions of years, from all these wars and cataclysmic events that we're all clearing, and they're in our DNA, they're in our cells. Okay, these are timelines, these are memories, it's consciousness that has to clear. And you need to let it come up and out. That's why no suppressing, face it, sit in it. Sit in it. And anything you are afraid of, don't wallow. Hold it, feel it, as well as be neutral. I usually go forth and back. Okay, but you really need to feel it. You need to have the utmost compassion with yourself, because if you don't have it, you're not going there. So you're really brave for going there and facing it all and taking full responsibility. And there's no blame and shame here. It's fully transcendent. It's just like, this is not helping me. I'm going to try and do it this way now. Because this is what all of this is about, experience. But if we don't want to look and we don't want to learn, and we don't want to see the difficult truths, then we can't. And right now, that's the question. Who's taking responsibility? That's New Earth living, fully sovereign, independent, no longer blaming anything outside of us for where we're at. And that's when we get to take full control of our realities and timelines. And the time is now. So let's get this done, because the main message I'm here to convey today is that we are here. Okay. Message from source. We are here to now collapse, to dissolve the simulation, and to remember that we have the power. And we can only do this when we remember that we have co-created all of this. Because again, this goes way back, and it really goes back to families and disagreements and competition and jealousy and all of this, and then divide, and then we manifested very negative things, and it spiraled from there. And it's really from people not owning their stuff and keep projecting at each other. And we've all been doing this to certain degrees, but it's just important to keep going deeper and to keep resolving it all and taking accountability and responsibility. That's the only way you're going to get your power back. And it's not by sitting here and waiting for someone to tell you what's happening. Ascension is an inside job. Don't wait for anything, okay? We also have solar winds density, very heavy. We have KP4 at the moment, a little bit of a solar flare, although it's been very quiet the last few days. Now, ultimately, this is all part of the simulation. So the only way we're going to get out of this now, again, that's what I'm here to transmit to you today. And I've been very tired, but it's an important time, out of time, as we can feel, to now get this done. Okay, and it's by us remembering it's not real. It's a projection, but it was hijacked and it's been artificially manipulated. What you see is not real. And if anyone says to you that it's still going to take X amount of years, that's your belief, then that's your limit. I have access to the highest timeline, which is quantum, which is the organic creatrix field. And this is now the time for us to open up the portal very wide, the stargates of our heart, and connect to Andromeda and Source and the Syrian Stargate, and really use the energy available right now and make it happen. So what I'm seeing is with the soul CERN thing, and I know it's been going around, and I did write on this 2 months ago. Now, it's no concern. It has in the past been used, or the idea is to create artificial wormholes and ribbon space-time. Okay, so this is really triggering ancient memories of fall of Tara and the wall in time that created a lot of the misery we have to live with today. And that's all being healed also with the return of the sphere of Amenti and the blue staff and the original Blu-ray, which is now opening up properly the portal back through Andromeda, 7 higher heavens, the Aurora platform, to Ascension Earth. So we're now going to fully merge with Ascension Earth frequencies, which have already been trickling through, like we have been reconnecting to Source, okay? And we've already been working with this, many people who've been part of my activations, been listening to my recordings. I've been working with this portal, I don't know how long, forever, it seems, kind of. So, but what we're really doing is we're finishing the Starfire return. So Starfire return is for me, we're really going back to Source, fully clearing all the distorted blueprints from our body. Basically, it's the event, just explained in a different way, okay? And it basically clears us fully of any distortions and we return. So it's like the Big Bang inside out in a way. And I found it very interesting because I found out that the soul CERN thing is going to go live less than 24 hours from now. And it's basically they're celebrating the 10-year anniversary of them finding the Higgs boson particle, which is the God particle. And they call that day the Big Bang Day. Now, you need to see, people. You really need to see. This is not real. We are projecting all of this, and you really need to see yourself in a movie. And it's going to get very wild, because if you think of multidimensional living, it's like in the movies, just 10 times more extreme. Okay, that's what reality is like. Really, more crazy, way more crazy. Now, so imagine the most craziest sci-fi movie, okay, just times 10. That's what kind of reality is like. All right, so anything goes here, and your imagination is your limit. And if you think you're kind of tuned into some kind of set of teachings or belief system that tells you that this and this is going to happen and this is how long this takes, very limiting. It's not quantum. It's not what I'm being shown. We are supposed to connect to Source and the quantum field to really see what are the opportunities here. And we are literally here to create universes. We have created this. We are the creators. We are not separate from the angelics, from the Andromedans, Lyrans, the Rishi, the Guardians. We are Source. So this is about not waiting for anything to happen, but we're going to make it happen. So we're going to use this because what they're doing is trying to use the Sirius Stargate, which is basically the sun conjuncting Sirius, which is our spiritual sun, closest between the 4th and the 5th. And that's when they're going to do their test, which is in Zurich time. I haven't been able to track down the exact time, but I am intuitively looking at 5 to 6 a.m. UK time on the 5th. I know that on the 5th, in the morning of the 5th, they're in Zurich time, so you can look it up yourself, obviously. But anyway, now, again, we don't need to focus on it, but I'm getting the message that we can use this, and we will basically open up a portal back to Source for us to fully flush all of this shit from the blueprints, from the planetary body, from our blueprints, okay? Because we basically, and I said this before, it's it's for you to understand, CERN is literally within you, and it's an imagination. It's part of the artificial realities, ultimately, okay, at highest level. All right. Now we can make this as complicated as we want to, but really it's what you believe is possible. Now, we have been prepared. This is why the activations have been so intense the last few days. I've been shown this is when it's like this, and I got a message, you're being prepared for the Stargate work, because I've had this before. And basically it's preparing our vessels to anchor this light, okay, through us and be the portal, okay, to source. We're building a portal to source through Sirius, through Alcyon, through the galactic center, Andromeda, through the 7 higher heavens, open and wide, to Ascension Earth, all the way back to source. We return back to source for full blueprint and consciousness reset, and we return like a rebirth. Okay, reset, rebirth. So we're going to do the activation. I'm going to do that now to help us, or in a few minutes. I'm going to also record it separately, so you can use this outside of time. You can tune in when CERN is running, when you believe. I know they're also running a live stream. I'm just intuitively going to see if I'm even going to tune in at the time or not, as I do with a lot of the things. Until I really come on, do a video or write something, it's usually till the last moment. I don't know that I'm doing it, really, because it's all, when I said last time, it's kind of a certain frequency has to be running for me to be pushed kind of to make a video, for example, or to write something. So it's not something that I'm making happen, but that I'm kind of, I'm aligning with the divine timing, and then also enough information to be aligned, and for me to be able to present it in a coherent message together. Now is the time for us to tune in, to really know that we have the power to flick the switch and turn off the simulation, like in the Starship Enterprise or Star Trek. Not sure which one. And the one with Jimmy Picard, I think, where they have the holodeck, the holographic deck, and it's like, what is it? Simulation, stop. Now, this is only when we are fully merged with the oneness and we cannot see anyone anymore outside of us. There are no more enemies. It's all a projection of the inverted consciousness, okay, that goes way back to the Lyran Wars, okay, to galactic wars, and basically split within the families, within the core groups of humanity. But it's beyond humanity. It connects all races, because humanity is really the child of all the galactic races all together in a human hybrid form. And as we are healing our blueprint, this affects all races. Okay, and ultimately we're all from the same tribe, which is God's source tribe, everyone. And that's what we're here to remember. Okay, and at higher level, at source level, everybody has already decided. Don't worry about anything. Don't expect anything either. This is ultimately outside of time. This is ultimately your personal experience, okay? But there's also something collectively happening that we're doing. But really tune in with your own guidance above all else, as always. To, as I always say, you will know what you need to know when you need to know it. I've been shown this again and again, and literally at the moment, all the puzzle pieces are coming together. Everything is becoming crystal clear. All the lifetimes, the realities, my multidimensional self, all the lessons, all the pieces of information I picked up, the pictures coming together, okay? Because all the distortions are fully being lifting, all the AI, it's all being fully flashed. So that's what we're going to do now with this, or obviously do it in your own way. It's the same as when you work with timelines. I see them inside my DNA, because again, our DNA is the film strip to our realities, and they can now fully activate with the sphere of Amenti returned. And it's our instruction sets, our gifts, our abilities, our memories, our history records, the true ones, all coming back online, and we will know again who we are. We will step back up into our ancient future roles if we have aligned with them. And again, every moment is this, you are here to make it happen. We have to step out of the waiting zone and waiting for something to happen. We're here to make it happen. And in every moment is this, okay? So are you busy creating new earth realities, or are you just there watching the foreign timelines fall apart because you're literally giving them more life support, okay? Everything is holographic. That's why when I work with my DNA, I can see it. You can see timelines. Everybody works with that differently. Ultimately, it's your consciousness. Everything is consciousness. You can make this as complicated as you want. That's what it comes back to. That's what I focus upon. And that's what we are correcting here. And as we're correcting the consciousness that got us here, which is inverted polarity consciousness, where we're projecting and we don't see our own stuff, that's when we are really shifting the poles, okay? The magnetic shift is also connected with the return of the sphere of Amenti. It's ready, okay? We're shifting the polarities and unifying as one in the 0-point field. So that's where all of this collapses now, okay? So as you hold the 0-point field within your own trauma, whatever's releasing there, and with any conflict that still may go on, ultimately it's all projected from within out, and that's how you also heal it, because as you literally shift the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And that's what we're doing now. Also, our eyesight is coming online. I've had very blurry eyesight for the last 2 days, and we would see, I mean, that's the thing, dark matter, for example, which most of the universe is made of, is also very relevant to just the 1% of light we can see. It's not as if there's nothing there, as if it's just black, we just can't see it yet. And that's what's going to come online. So all these cosmic rays and all the things we talk about are going to become visible. That's why it's so important for us to really believe in what we're seeing with our inner sight. This is how we're projecting it out. If you keep questioning yourself, you know, it takes longer. And with the DMT releases, which is our own, you know, kind of psychedelics released by the body, where you kind of feel a bit trippy, that's what's actually helping us manifest the higher dimensional realities. So it's becoming more and more dreamlike. So remember, everything is consciousness, everything is energy, frequency, and vibration. Time doesn't exist. It's a 3D concept, neither space, and gravity has been artificially manipulated and is now returned to organic magnetism, okay? So it's all shifting. Also, again, for us, a big message has been in receiver mode, okay? For those who've also been doing and giving a lot, especially divine feminines who've been a lot more in their masculine energy to really merge with their feminine again, to keep balancing it all out. And that's also part of divine union within, that we now balance and have balanced the divine masculine and feminine energies. And now the inner child healing is concluding with that final deep core trauma healed. And that's how we're healing all. And that's also what I've been shown is what heals and frees all the children. Again, we're literally shifting timelines. What you see, you know, it's like the Mandela effect, just gone supernova. Because it's literally, we're shifting back to the future, to the organic ascension timeline we should be on. This artificial reality isn't real. When people tell you it's a long time away and it's going to be a big rebuilding project, they need the time. They do anything to delay this. Okay, this is a fight over timelines, over consciousness. Ultimately, it's within our own minds, within the one consciousness. It's literally service to self versus service to others. It's like, you know, two teams arguing. That's what I can see in the consciousness. It's the consciousness arguing and being at odds with itself. Okay, so that's why we need to bring coherence to it in all that we do, especially within. And that's what's happening now, because we're really merging those two to service to all. But, you know, again, this is about not us martyring ourselves for the good of others and then our own needs are not met. It's about finding a balance in all things. That's what we're here for. That's really 0-point embodiment, or the Holy Trinity, where you have the polarities balanced within your own self. And obviously that looks a little bit different every time, you know. So there's some variances, but not as it has been. Okay, so it's positive, integrated polarity, because you can't get rid of that. And unified through the 0-point field. And that's what we're here to do, by bringing more and more balance and peace to everything and coherence to the one consciousness. So I think I've said everything that I wanted to say, because I also want to do the activation. And really, this is about us, again, remembering we hold the timelines within our DNA, we hold the keys and codes for this ascension, and we're now awakening the Edenic timelines, the keys and codes from within us. And then we're projecting it out. So we, that's multidimensional integration. And that's what other people are helping us with when we, integrate all these viewpoints of how they can be the way they are without, being at odds with that part of ourselves, of the one. That's peace, isn't it? Because we often, hate or dislike the things that are just really foreign to us. So that's all being unified from within, okay? You becoming at one with God's source. And that's what we're doing right now. So let all the separation go. There's a lot of blue ray and still diamond white light coming in, and aqua light. And it's really healing us at a really deep level. And again, we're in this golden cosmic egg where all of our bodies and morphogenetic fields and plasma light body levels we are basically clearing, integrating, and upgrading constantly right now. So allow the sacred transformation, step out of time, forget the time. You don't focus on a specific day either. You need to transcend time altogether. Okay, this happens in no time. It's already done. The event has already been in motion since the end of January. And I'm not even waiting for a big flash either, because this could look any which way. Now, I do think we will see spiritual light, which we should be seeing anyway. But how exactly it comes about, it's not even the issue. It's just focus on the end result and keep going within, keep going into silence, retrieve your own instruction sets of what you are here to bring at this time, because it's very individual. And let's just take all of our power back, collapse all the narratives, collapse all the plots, all the conspiracy theories, really collapse everything. Let go of the past. It doesn't matter any fallen timelines, any of these good and evil stories and channelings or whatever goes on. You just need to totally disconnect from the victim-victimizer consciousness field. You can't have that programming running anymore. That's how you collapse the matrix. It's based on thought forms and belief systems. Thoughts create matter. And it's all of that, our whole frequency, which manifests our realities. And all of that, most of it has been unconscious, on unconscious autopilot. But now we're becoming super conscious, and that's how we take back charge of it. But you can only do this if you have a fully sovereign energy field. And if you have victim-victimizer consciousness running, and good and evil, you have openings in your field. And when we don't love ourselves enough, or in fear and all of this stuff, it's just openings in our energy field. And that's how the, attachments and vampires happen. So clear by you becoming a sovereign, independent, free individual, because that can only be fully claimed from within in your own consciousness. Nobody can do this for you. Now we're making this available in the field more easily for other people, and we carry the keys and codes, so it will be like the 100 monkey effect, which just goes out, just like all the healings within the consciousness that are happening. Just know everybody is slightly at a different developmental point, and just see that, but nobody's better or less good. So humility, again, very important, and just a lot of love, okay? And keep coming back to your heart, keep coming back to neutrality. We need a lot of space and a lot of silence when these activations, when it's so intense. So just know it's sacred service, and you're being very productive and you're doing a lot of work whilst you're resting and sleeping. And that's all programming again. So see the programming for what it is. See, like, part of it also the dark arts training, becoming aware of what's going on within the astral level that are now beautifully clearing, but understanding how all of this works and working with your energy field and working with the energy, it's all part of it, of you becoming really sovereign in your energetic field and becoming aware of all the shenanigans that are going on, being able to detect false light for what it is, breaking through this whole mind control programming some of us have been doing. It's like, whoo, you know, again, the consciousness has been very inverted. So just be neutral and keep going with the flow and just keep connecting to cosmic consciousness, because this is literally beyond thought, okay? Because language, beyond 5D, really language becomes relevant. It's all telepathic communication. It's how I receive a lot of my messages. It's like a picture with all information download, okay? And that's also getting rid of all the miscommunication between the egos, which also is necessary then for us to transcend the ego, not take things personally anymore, and understand ultimately everything is always conspiring for us. The hardest lessons have always been our greatest opportunities for growth. But it's up to us if we let these experiences weigh us down and let it beat us up, or us playing the victim, or whether we rise. So that's where, you know, all of this comes in. But also understand an older version of you when it comes along who's still really caught up in the programming, who's struggling right now, okay? So again, it's both ends, but you need to just do your thing and just keep on going and don't let anything drag you down anymore, okay? That's mastery, that's full embodiment, that's the final initiation and tests that we all have to overcome. It's all part of it, okay? And transcending that provocation is leading you to your liberation, quite literally. So release the past, all of it, all the conflicts, all the war, all the last battles, good versus evil, collapse it all in your consciousness. Discern everything that is false and artificial. Anything that comes up, if you're in meditative space, however you do this visually, or you see it in your DNA, in your morphogenetic field, it's literally information running in your field. You can collapse it. If not you, who then? If you think some Cabal or Illuminati or anyone or a CERN has more power than we do, you're giving your power away. And that's exactly the problem. So we're not waiting for anything to happen, anyone to do anything. The second coming of Christ, we are it, and we're here to make it happen, as well as surrendering. Oh, and in my last video, I said something like, we never let go, just for precision of language sake. And we let go and we let God, but we don't give up. And we do sometimes also give up, as in, I've tried it, but it's never really possible. So ultimately, we don't give up. And it is about perseverance and consistency. Just like anything we ever want to be good in, we have to try and try and try and try again. And we keep fine-tuning and we keep getting better at it. And sometimes it feels like 10 steps back, but it never really is, okay? Just some lessons take a bit longer. But now we're out of the looping. The whole false light matrix is going. All these implants of, you know, people who are channeling, they might think they're channeling Jesus or God or, you know, whoever, ascended master. And so, I mean, most all of it is all, it's just implants. And they're all clearing and releasing. And basically what this is all about is you connecting, merging with your own multidimensional self, and you have source access. You do not need to plug into ascended masters or even guardian levels. You are them. And you need to plug into your own data stream, okay? Your own source stream. That's what this is all about. So, you know, go more into creative mode instead of receiving mode, and then radiate that consciousness out. And it doesn't matter if you're doing this publicly like I do, or you're doing it all on your own. It's literally the frequency you embody, your embodiment. That's what's important, okay? Who you are being whilst you're doing whatever you're doing. That's really what matters here. So remember this, and you're affecting way more than you think you are just by doing the work and facing all of the crap and no longer pointing the finger at others whilst you still, you know, hold everybody responsible and accountable. It's both ends. So we're holding them responsible and accountable, the same as us, but it's not about blaming, and it's forgiveness, what sets us all free. That's that forgiveness, because that's the end of karma. And we can't do that when we still keep blaming any group or any people for where we're at. We've all co-created this as one. And that really needs to sink in very deep now, because that's how we can co-create all new realities now, radiate them out. We're projecting them out now. Okay, super, super important. That's the main message. Remember, we hold the power, and we now switch off the simulation. All right. Now, let's just do a quick activation to connect us to the Seeing Stargate through Alcyon, and I probably don't pronounce it correctly, you know, the Pleiades, our great central sun, through Andromeda, 7 higher heavens, the Aurora platform, to Ascension Earth, and all the way back to Source. Okay, so we're going to be traveling in our own bubble, Aurora orb bubble, and we're going to travel to the core of the Earth. We connect there, also with the sphere of Amenti that has now been returned. And then we're going to go all the way up, and we travel up all the way back to Source to then fully clear the remaining blueprints of any distortions and any codings, anything that's not our one true self. And then we return fully rebirthed again in quantum no time. Let go of any expectations, just feel into it, part of the ride, keep picking up the codes, keep accreting more and more of your DNA and your quantum, and keep connecting, obviously, also in your own way. So you might enjoy this. If you don't, just do your own thing, okay? So if you want to just take a couple of breaths and clear your mind, just let go of any worries, any stress, any fear, any tension. Just let it all go and empty your mind. Relaxing your body. And with the next breath, you breathe into your heart center, like a big bubble of crystalline diamond rainbow plasma light, and let it build up. Hold your breath for a moment. And with the next breath out, you breathe it out into your whole energy field, like a big bubble of iridescent rainbow plasma light all around your energy field. And you purify, clear, heal, balance, harmonize, upgrade our whole morphogenetic field to the highest divine blueprint available in this now. Because all time and space, all dimensions, all realities, all merged as one. Our physical, mental, emotional, spiritual bodies. Dissolving any membranes, any seals. Purifying, clearing any lower negative artificial frequencies, energies, entities, vibrations, sound and light fields, tones, negative, limiting, inverted thought forms, behaviors, belief systems, programs. Clear, remove, release. Because the one mind, the one consciousness. All back to source for re-encryption. As we reconnect with the cosmic mind, the heart and mind of God and cosmic consciousness, the super consciousness intelligence field, in full clarity and coherence, clearing any lower negative interference patterns, EMFs, any interferent frequencies, negative energy centers. We have an invincible shield all around us, Diamond rainbow plasma light, any lower negative energies just fully dissolved as they hit our field, all back to source. Kushunahina se ishkorayana ta se tuyananina ne sunanata ashkurayana ka wa aparata tukuku aikana yataraske eta tukuna sate shkenata okayanta yanakirkerata taskutanayata isanata eyanatea que sukakanata ka shunate ke isukanataratara. Purify, clear, heal, balance, harmonize, upgrade every cell, every atom, every atomic and subatomic particle and wave and all the spaces in between, right down to mitochondria. Seeing every cell becoming lighter and lighter, being filled with pure source light. It's radiating out from your heart. It's your built-in source center, radiating out this beautiful crystalline diamond rainbow light. It's like iridescent, opaque, crystalline light. Dissolving any miasms, entities, attachments, cords, hooks, any remaining seals, implants, AI materials, signals, all in anything inorganic and artificial from our fields for absolute ease and grace. Sukunushkara iskanate ke anas kasayana ke kenake ke ya une sena shakarata. Sukinayata. Meridians, nadis, axial tone lines, purified, cleared, healed, balanced, harmonized, upgraded, realigned. All of our systems upgraded to the highest multidimensional functionality and health, planetary brain, planetary heart grid. Feel into this and connect. Activating the neural pathways of light responsible for our awakening to the highest level allowed at this time. Neuroplasticity. Sukunasha ina ina kina suna ina ni eaneate sunote ake 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 ue ena sino ke ake ashite anakara satara satara sa tuna te ake ena sena teata kuyakana sateya. See a whole field in beautiful, bright, diamond, crystalline, iridescent, white rainbow plasma light, dissolving any remaining density in your field, any distortions, lower energies, codings, reversals, or in anything that is not of our true self. Suna ina ke ate ate ane suyane ke ate. Now, with the next breath, remember you're in a bubble of light. It's your travel vehicle. With this aurora or body and bubble around us. Now we're going to travel down to the crystalline core of the earth. So with the next breath, just feel yourself traveling in this bubble of light down to the crystalline core of the earth. Until you feel you have arrived. Now connect with this beautiful crystalline core of earth. which is really the cosmic seed atom of Earth, connecting to ours in our heart always. And it's what carries our original source codes, and blueprints, and instruction sets for our DNA and our morphogenetic field. Returned all to their original divine blueprint. Una que sena sea que asuna ina sea que. See your field filling with the most beautiful aurora vapors, blue and green and violet, amethyst, gray, and gold. And all the other colors of the rainbow and beyond. And also the colors that are unfamiliar to us. Beautiful sound and light fields of creation surrounding us as we are within the core of the earth, within our plasma bubble of light. As we merge with the original sound and light fields of creation, the original divine blueprints, sphere of Amenti, the Hall of Records, retrieving our true history and memories on behalf of all. Sunakia kinasata yenakia nechina yenakara shukunatia keata sukunatia keane nanana saya unana yene se unana e e sukura shakara yenakera kina se uana yenakera teate sununana Kia Sura Kinakana Sakara Shukuni Ananana Inana Se ye Unanae Anata Ananatea Se Uta Te Se Nayanate Anate Anase Anake Mua Ea Tukuna Sheatea Tusuna Kea Kea Sukuna Sea Tunana Nea 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 Ananatuna Sina Ina Kea Kea Una E Shuna Ina Nina 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 Ukuna Ina Sa Shup Te Ekinasa Tayakana Teate Sune Anana Yaki Unanane Se Ane Activate the divine template of the 144 crystalline DNA plus 3s1 triple helix DNA in its divine perfection, highest divine blueprint. Isuna kena sekara sukuna shena tea kena tea tea sukuna tea sena kanayata tuyana ina shea tea cosmic quantum tree of life. Inatea she tekenayaka double diamond sun body. Inakia shukuya nakia yakara kanasate akea nata. Retrieving all of our soul pieces, soul fragments, all of our identity levels. Azurite blueprint, Anuhasi, all pieces lost, got fragmented of and forgotten, stolen, retrieving all of that back. Our memories, our multidimensional self. Sukinaya ara shayina tea kea tea sataraya. Feel these vapors re-encrypting your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies, merging, unifying all. It's one consciousness, one tribe. Tuyana sayana taya tena esenakeate tukanatarasa tuyanateate. Retrieving and activating, igniting our true race history and memories now. Gifts and abilities, all of our multidimensional self, memories returned, remembered, activated. Siku iska ashkadaya naki iski eya kuku iskanayata ashkanayateya unayena grasaya unanani anina seya keateya nayena su aye nanana te yekena grasu tu uya Kiana tea na saya nina 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 tea. Clearing any remaining holographic inserts, false memories, memory implants, false akash, false memories, information, data, belief systems, thought forms, once and for all from the one mind and the one consciousness. So it is done. Sikona se ke ishkina ahupasar. Tatayana kesayana kara shuku eke eya suku ina te isuka se eka. All fallen timelines fully dissolve with no more fields, no DNA. Fallen histories. Esu shada yena kena kena se. Awakening the Edenic and partisan timelines with no DNA. Our ancient future memories, our ancient future diamond avatar self in quantum no time now. Our ascended self, always available now. Esu shuka ne anena seke na te ake akoko ne ane 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 ne 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 ne. The remembrance of our original innocence arising from within us. Suyana shata keta. See your crystalline DNA, or feel it, sense it. Just imagine it, how it's activating in beautiful, multicolored, pastel rainbow colors. Fully dissolving and shedding any dark particles, black hole, lower codings. Suyanasai, inanani, nananata aya uwe. Iyanake ashkunayata eu aiha. Iya munayenaka luuskalaya araishkenaya ku iya ya tunanina nineya tasu teyanakea kekenasa su e na katara ke anasara ke anakara kasanana tetayana tatayanata Now, see yourself in your bubble, in your raw ore bubble, and a crystal core of the earth. And now, with the next breath up, connect all the way up, through all the suns and the stargates, right, all the way back to source. So, the next breath, see yourself traveling all the way up, as in a big column of diamond white rainbow light. The sun, central sun. Syrian stargate, wide open. Isukana shakara sakaraya. Eye. Sister yana yena. Ta. Ku. Ena tea sekena shakarata. Great central sun. Alcyon. Kuyana kiyara saka. Suka ya. Galactic center. All the way back through neutron window to the heart of Andromeda. Sunai anake ake kenasata. Sha. See yourself connecting, traveling to the Andromeda galaxy. See the beautiful spiraling arms. Sense it, feel it. Connecting from here through the 7 higher heavens, the Aurora platform. With ascension earth, 12D earth. Picking up all the codes. Sinakeru ana sa sha. And further back through the primal sound and light fields. Picking up all the corrected keys and codes and blueprints for our dark matter body template, our Rasha body. Sukuna seke suna i inana i ta ke sa na te ya. And all the way back to source. The heart and mind of God, the Godhead. Connecting with the oneness that all is, at one with all. Kuku oskara ashkara ekeketa, unayana saya. Returning to the womb of creation, to your original blueprint, before the fall in consciousness, with the lessons learned and upgrades received and integrated, fully embodying our new diamond avatar, divine cosmic human. Everything else, all the old blueprints and templates, all that is not in alignment with our one true self, now dissolves effortlessly in this space. Releasing all distortions, all reversals, all lower codings, all interference patterns, all negative energies and entities and frequencies. In the light of Source, the purity of this love that all is. Our original innocence reclaimed, remembered, reigniting now from deep within, our own source center that is at one with the heart and mind of God, our cosmic seed atom in our high heart. Feel yourself fully dissolving into the nothingness that all is. Becoming fully weightless, bodiless, no longer identified with form, fully dissolving all artificial inorganic energies and materials and consciousness within the morphogenetic field of all that is. So it is done. Kukunasa shukutara tatara sakanatea kekeatu nayanasa. Shoenayana ke anatara shukunatea tea sekenata. Tu sha. Now you become aware of your little spark of source light within this big sea of just pure divine consciousness and love light. And we will travel back, all the way back into our bodies in this here and now. Just take a moment to focus on our spark of light. With the next breath, we travel all the way back down into our body, all the way down through the stargates. Into the here and now on your point on the grid. In a beautiful column of diamonds, white light, beautiful light blue in the center, and aqua blue within that. And now we're going to anchor this light into the crystalline core of Gaia and into the grids. See yourself connecting with all the other light workers and star seeds that have been activated and are connecting with you as a little acupuncture needle on the new diamond grid of the new Nova Gaia, new Ascension Earth. As we fully anchor these codes in this portal, opening it wide all around us. Remember, you are the walking portal, the stargate of your crystal heart. Focus on this for a moment and let us open our hearts to ever greater levels of love, loving ourselves, loving others, all life everywhere, as we are, as all is, seeing everything with the eyes of Source now, through the pure prism of our diamond hearts and minds. Feel yourself fully rebirthing. Eternal God Source Black Flow return, replenishing your energy field, rejuvenating, regenerating and healing your whole morphogenetic field and that of all of life everywhere, as we're all connecting as one tribal shield, one tribe, one heart, one mind, one soul, one body. But that is who we are, as we remember now, the one true self, beyond all the illusions of separation that dissolve now, along with the artificial simulation, all held up by thoughts. As we let go of our mind and all that was, and open ourselves up to all new realities manifesting now and being projected out from the inside out of the new pure prism of our sacred crystal heart. Keep tuning into this connection between yourself, Sirius, Andromeda, ascension, earth and source, and the core of the earth throughout your days. Keep working with this portal, keep strengthening your connection with source and the crystalline core, with each other as one field. The new diamond grid fully activating within and without. So this grids, Q sites, stargates, arc sites, Trinity gates, organic ascension gateways, vortices, power points, ancient sites, ancient solar temples, pyramids, crystal pyramids. Activate. Crystal cities. Sukanase. Waters, aquifers, crystals, crystal beds, crystal caverns, crystal core, crystal grid, crystalline structures within our bones, heart, mind, fascia, skin, blood. Sinakara shakara satara satara sata. Free dissolving any remaining mind constructs, connecting us to the old matrix realities now within a one mind. In no time. So it is done. Kukunasa sha kita ara. Kuyana sekana sata. At one with cosmic consciousness, radiating throughout every cell, every atom in our whole field, along with pure divine love, filling up our whole energy field, growing wider and wider, brighter and brighter until it envelopes all of Earth, the whole planet, going further and further out into solar system, the universe, until all of creation is one big field of diamond white rainbow light. Radiates out from your heart, crystal lotus patterns. Running pure source codes, frequencies through your fields, which entails the whole of creation. As we remember again the one true self and our original innocence again. As we return back to the future and the one true organic ascension reality is fully now as one. Kekanasa, Teyanake, Shukanata. So as it is spoken, so it is done. So as it is spoken, so it is done. So as it is spoken, so it is done. Keyanaka, Tayanasa. Kuyanake. Eshanatea Karata. Karasanata. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Source. Thank you, Angelics, Guardians, Crystal Star Family, Aurora Races, Aquafarians, Aquafae, Aquael. Thank you so much. All the beings of light and aligned with the law of one, ancient ones, gatekeepers, guardians of Earth across all realms. I thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We unify now our whole multidimensional self, calling all of us back to ourselves, our true self, our multidimensional self, across all realms, all realities, all of our soul pieces, soul fragments, fully merged, fully unified, integrated as one, reborn in the purest light and love. It is done. So it is. Now, we're going to come fully back into our bodies, fully anchored into our physical vessel as our multidimensional diamond avatar self. Activate, ignite. Suyana seyakara, kana shuna yikanata, kayana setarata, kuyanata, tatayaka. Thank you. Now, anchor this into the location where you're at. One more time, into the grids. Highest level of frequencies. So it is done, fully back in your body, fully present, wiggling our hands and toes. So it is. Now, okay. I hope you enjoyed that. Now, feel your crystal diamond self, your new self, cracking open, ready to fly in quantum no time, each in their own divine timing. There is no time. Again, just let go any dates, any expectation. It's an inner event you're ultimately looking for, which is like a light bulb moment that has us remember the truth again. Our true history, memory, who we are. That's the cosmic human citizen reborn. Okay, now let's open the gates, portals wide, we just did. Okay, source energy flooding us, ascension of codes and keys at one with us. Okay, let's be this. Everything is this. Thank you so much for your support. If you can, please, donations are very much welcomed. Again, I'm doing everything on donation, and I do rely on your support in that way. Until any moment now, we are all going to be more than richly supported, because again, as part of the forgiveness, that is that forgiveness, and that brings the abundance online, but only if we can forgive, because let the one without sin throw the first stone, as in, we've all done things we're not proud of, and no one is, guilty or not guilty here ultimately, as in, it's not a competition of who's worse and who's less worse. Nobody's perfect here. So let's keep remembering that. Keep trying to understand deeper and deeper, because you're trying to understand yourself, thyself, God. That's how you know the true nature of things. That's how you know truth. It's the only way. And that's only by going deep within and doing the hard work, the shadow work, and facing it all. And we stop projecting, okay? Whilst we still hold everybody accountable, but it always starts and comes back to us. And we cannot get to New Earth if we cannot get to that place of independent sovereignty, okay? And we will be interdependent again. We all affect one another, but we don't make other people responsible for our happiness or misery. So now, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for your support. I hope this helped. As always, this really activates your field, ascension keys and codes, the transmission and frequencies that are being transmitted are truly beyond the words, okay? So it helps you clear, heal, balance, and upgrade your whole morphogenetic field and further activate it. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for your support. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Everything helps, okay? Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I see you on the other side. Let's do this. Thank you. Let's make it happen. That's what we came for. Hold the vision, the frequency. All right? And keep dreaming really big. And your belief system is the limit, truly. But it's about tuning into source and really the highest light, okay? Not distorted frequencies and energies and intel, okay? Go direct, go to source. That's the only way you know what you need to know when you need to know it, all right? And that time is now. Love you, bless you, and I see you.